Thank you for that, Mike. You could see the lips moving and no sound. I'm fighting some kind of an allergy or something, and it's got me a little bit mucked up. Isabella, where in Romania? What city are you in Romania? Just curious. It would be too funny if you happen to be in Braun. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here, and we're going to get into the presentation, and I have some really great stuff in store for you. Stick around until the end because we'll have a drawing. If you're a guest or you're a client that has not funded yet, you have a very good shot at winning $100 today on the presentation on our drawing. So stick around. We'll have some fun with that at the end. And then after that, we'll get into to a bit of a Q&A. So let me get the screen share going, and off we go. Jude from Nigeria. Welcome, Jude. Happy you're here. Near Timisoara. Okay, great. I've never really been in that region other than at the airport, and I don't think that counts. And let's see. Lolanda, where are you from? I'd like to get a sense of where everybody's at. By the way, Jude, have a number of people in Nigeria. Things are starting to pick up there in a big way. So we'll be able to, I'll touch on that, why I think this makes sense. Okay, cool. So you're also in Timisoara. Okay. Let's get this going. So this is a very important thing to cover, because anytime you have the kind of returns that you see on this type of an offering, if you have good returns, you have risk. And it's very important to disclose risk. People that do not disclose risk, I think, are irresponsible, because if you go to the bank, you're going to get a little itty bitty return, and it's pretty safe. Most banks are pretty safe in most countries, but they make up for that safety by not giving very much of a return. If you have less safety, more risk, then you have the chance of having much better returns. But there is an inherent risk anytime you're trading these types of instruments. They're high risk, and I don't want to read this to you, but you get a screenshot of this if you would. The key and most important thing here is never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. What does that mean? Don't use the mortgage money, the rent money, the money for groceries. It's very important to use discretionary income. Put little in. Most of the traders that you'll see me describe, the majority, you can start with as little as $100 to test the water, 100 US. So this is something, though, that's very important, because if somebody doesn't tell you that there's risk involved and then you get hurt, they were remiss in their duty to expose that risk and disclaim that risk. And that's the purpose of this. So with that out of the way, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Burns. I am from the US, and my wife and daughter are originally from Romania, from Brașov, and in my wife's case, from Olt. The Romanians will understand that. And Alexandra, our daughter, just gave birth a month ago to a baby boy. She and the boy are very healthy, and we're here with them in Braun, Romania. My son is in Bozeman, Montana, and for fun, I'm into fly fishing and playing the bass guitar. And on my professional resume, the common theme in all the stuff you see there are financial instruments. In other words, real estate being one of those, which I love and always will be involved in real estate. Forex and crypto. Forex I've been in since 2004, in and out, and I've become much more serious about learning it over the last couple of years. Pardon me just a minute. I'm dealing with some congestion here. Give me just a second. And Anthony, if you would type in chat where you're from. I think I know, but I don't want to make an assumption unsafely. I think I recognize names from that country that I think you're from, but let me have you validate that if you would. So With Forex and crypto specifically, there are trading opportunities where you can make really good money being a trader, and being involved with trading, it can be very lucrative as long as you mitigate risk properly. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. We're involved with a project here that I'm most excited about, and I'll explain why that is in just a minute. And additionally, and this is completely optional, but if you choose to, you can build a team and you can use internet marketing to do that. I've been involved doing that concept of internet marketing before that term actually existed. We didn't call it that back in the day, but I've always gravitated toward things, technology, computers, and so forth, and like them. And so I'm leveraging them now to reach out literally all over the world and build a business all over the world using those types of tools. Here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you what copy trading is about, why this broker is really strong, how you withdraw your money, how compounding works if you haven't seen that. I'll show you the affiliate part. Then we'll have a drawing, and then part 2 will be a Q&A and helping people enroll. If they like what they see and hear, then I'll stick around to help you get enrolled. So one of the things I want to touch on is, what is copy trading? What does that mean? Copy trading in very broad stroke and very basic description is, you're a client, you don't know how to trade necessarily. Maybe you never want to learn how to trade, but you want to enjoy the benefits of a good trader. You have the ability to you get an account set up with RoboForex, which is the company I'll show you today, and you have an opportunity to choose traders that then can trade into your account, and you enjoy the returns that they make. In other words, they can't touch your money. They just trade your account. They never get their hands on your money at all. You always maintain control of your money, but they're trading into your account, and they charge a fee, typically and often 30% of the profit. So it's a 70-30 split. You keep 70 of the profit. They charge 30. They charge that weekly. And that's something that they only charge that fee if they've earned a profit. So you're not getting exposed to that if they have not earned a profit. And this is the key concept with copy trading is, you don't have to learn the skills of trading. You just simply have to get an account set up, which is a matter of, you register, you get verified, which is verifying your email, verifying an ID, which is typically passport, driver's license, voter registration card, and then you have to verify your address. It's anti-money laundering and so forth. KYC is the concept here. That's verification, meaning know your customers, KYC. Now, once that's done, off you go, and you literally can come in whenever you choose to review things. How are things going with the trader? I find myself curious, so I go in often, a couple times a day to look at the trading, but you don't have to, and if you've got good, solid traders, and you're out on vacation and so forth, you may not be checking in as much, but it's a pretty cool idea. Passive, meaning you don't have to be involved in it and your account grows. I'll also get into the broker, why, again, this is a strong broker. And in fact, I'll start with that right now. I was attracted to this broker before I knew Robert Russell, who is the fellow that enrolled me here. This broker was one that came with very good recommendations. They've won lots of awards. They have a very good story to tell, and they're over 12 years old. So they have stability. There's 4.5 million clients worldwide that use RoboForex, and they're in 169 countries. And also, as you can see down here, they've won awards consistently for their brokerage services. They're very well respected. They're regulated in the country of Belize. The FSC is a regulatory body in that country. And they also participate in something called the Financial Commission, which is a number of brokers that are reputable brokers that have pooled assets together to say, look, we want to have a fair way of resolving disputes. And when there is a dispute with a client, the commission then will arbitrate that dispute and provide arbitration services. And if the client is successful in their case to say, look, I was wronged for whatever reason that may be, up to 20,000 euros in coverage will then be available if the client prevails in that scenario. So this is a way of showing that they're really serious about taking care of business on customer service and doing things properly, which is a good sign. The instruments that Robo4X makes available to you to trade, of course, Forex, pretty obvious on that one with the name Robo4X. Cryptocurrencies are another series of instruments. Stocks are another series of instruments, and indices being a personal favorite of mine, and many people that are traders like them because they can generate very good returns. That would be something like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the UK 100 top UK companies, the German 40, which is the top industrial companies in Germany, very similar to what we have with the US 30, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NAS 100, which is the top US tech companies, the NASDAQ companies. Those are examples of instruments that are very, very popular. Additionally, there are exchange traded funds, soft commodities, things like coffee, cocoa, sugar, corn, wheat, soybean, et cetera. Energies, not surprisingly, oil and heat and natural gas, that type of thing. Metals is a very popular area, meaning trading gold and silver. And some traders focus just on one instrument, like gold is a really, really popular instrument to trade because it has high volatility. And if the trader is skilled, that trader can earn a lot of money for themselves and for you. So I mentioned and touched on the awards. I won't read all this stuff to you, but they're very well respected, and you can take a look at them and see the same information on their website. Now, with the traders, when you're selecting a trader, it's helpful to have input from people that are using the traders. And why I say that is when we're you have somebody that would, if you like what you see here when we're done and you say, okay, I want to give this a whirl, I want to give it a try. Part of getting set up is doing the verification that I just mentioned. The second part, once you're verified, is funding your account with the money that you want to, basically test the account with and see if everything goes to your liking. And in doing that, you're going to be selecting a trader. How do you do that? Well, we use these traders ourselves, and that's a good sign. In other words, if I'm making a recommendation to my people that I personally enroll, the trader that I'm going to recommend is somebody I'm personally using. I wouldn't recommend them unless I were. So this probably goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. I'm really keenly interested in the results of that trader because I'm trading my own money there. So if I'm making that recommendation, it's somebody that has made me money. And if they don't make me money, I don't like them as much. I know that comes as a great shock, but I want to make sure they're making me money before I refer them to my team, because I want my team to make money. If they make money, two things happen. They're going to have a smile on their face, which probably means they're going to start putting more money into the account. That means they make more money, and so do I. And they're going to invite other people because they had a good experience. So our mission is to put a smile on your face with the trader recommendations that we make, and know that we have skin in the game. In other words, not just, oh, this is a great idea, but I don't have my own money in there. No. That I don't cotton to, and we do things differently than that. So how do we select traders? Stop loss is tight. That's really critical. And seeing that, it's one thing to talk about it, but when you actually see it in the trading results, and I'll show you how you spot that right away. Drawdowns are low, ideally. Past performance is a good indication. The market always changes. You've heard that statement probably from other people disclaiming different trading opportunities. Past performance is not an indication of future results. That's true, because the market tomorrow could be very different than the market today. But past performance at least gives you an indication of how does the trader manage their risk. In other words, are they mitigating risk? Are they keeping tight stops? Are they making sure that they have a low drawdown? And if they make a mistake on a trade, are they getting out of it very quickly? And yes, they should take a loss. You don't want a trader that doesn't get losses, by the way. You want a trader that keeps losses low. The very best, most brilliant traders in the marketplace all have losses. So there's no shame in having losses. How you handle the losses is what matters. The win ratio in trades is very important, although you can make a lot of money with a 50% loss ratio. If you have your risk mitigation right. Does the trader have a Telegram channel? Do they have a Telegram group? And can you interact with the trader and ask questions? In other words, if you're with a trader and you want to know what they're doing or why they're doing it, it's valuable to be able to interact with them. So for me, this is not an optional item. In other words, I want to make darn sure anybody that is trading my money I can talk to. And if you like that idea, those are the ones I recommend. Total trades, total investors. You get a look at, if you see some of the traders here, they have thousands, in some cases, tens of thousands of investors. That's a clue. You don't get that accidentally. In other words, if you have a lot of people following a trader, that's generally a good indication that that trader has skills and is delivering good results. Now, let me show you. This is a recent example of a trader I just enrolled with. This one started May 24th. And this is a bit rosy, admittedly. In other words, when you see this, well, my doggone mouse is not behaving today. Okay. That's probably impossibly small, and I was hoping to magnify it, but the system is not doing that as it usually does. But it's 1.97% daily. That is exceptionally high. That's 10% a week, 40% a month, 480% a year, approximately, if they maintain that clip. They probably won't. Pretty low drawdown at 4.4%. What does drawdown mean? Drawdown is when you open a trade, almost always, with rare exception, you're in a slight loss. And hopefully that slight loss goes away and becomes a positive, but it always starts out with a little bit of a loss. And then it may get bigger if the currency that you've chosen to engage in goes against you a bit, meaning you haven't realized that loss, it's floating. And until you close the trade or the trader closes the trade, it is just a unrealized loss, better known in trading circles as a drawdown. A drawdown is typically an unrealized loss. So this trader, as an example, I put in $622.96. And I made $31 in profit. And this was over 3 days at this point, so not a bad profit on that. These numbers will change. The key thing I want you to grab onto here is this format. This is a format from a company called MyFXBook that allows you to put in the trading credentials of your account, and then you can track everything that the trader does. The good, the bad, and the ugly is in here. And when you see these two check boxes here, this is indicating that this is valid information, that it is a verified account, a real account, and that the numbers you see here are real. Okay, so this is a system that you'll hear and see in the trading space. It's a very useful. It's free, by the way. It's pretty cool. Here's an example of a trader that we've been using since April 10th. This particular trader is robotic trading, which there's nothing wrong with. There's good robots and bad robots. There's good human traders and bad human traders. That's not necessarily a negative. Now, in this case, here was an account, $1,152. This account has a little bit more age to it. The daily return here is 0.89% per day, slightly under 1%, 26% monthly. This particular trader is clipping along around 18 to 21% on average. So this was a little bit rosy. 8.8% drawdown. That's gone up, but with a recent thing that happened with the dollar, that went up quite a bit, but the robot handled it well. It did a really good job, in fact. And so this one has earned from April 10th to May 5th, not even a month, it earned $271 on that 1,100, which was a 26% return. I'm very happy with that. A little bit of interest was charged when trades were held over a weekend. But this again is a good example. It shows you this tool shows you what you earn on a given day, the week, the month, and then the year. So you get a real sense of how your account is performing. And this is something that is pretty straightforward to set up once you have your accounts in place, and it's useful, as you can see. I told you I would show you examples of a trader that has good results. This example right here is a phenomenal trader because you see that it's up and to the right. What I do want to see, and I'm going to get a better example of that. I do want to see little bites that drop down and then come back up, like a little, tooth mark out of the curve here. And why do I want to see that? Because that's a trader who is taking a loss and then keeps it small and then recovers and goes right back up again. So I'm going to look for a graph that is like this one, but with a little dip down, that type of thing. If you see a big dip down, run fast the other way. That you don't want to see. Now, how do you get your money in and out? Depending on where you are, in the UK, as an example, the UK doesn't have crypto available. I think that was as a result of Brexit. I'm just making a guess. The rest of the EU seems to have crypto available in most countries. In almost all countries, you have Visa and MasterCard available. There are some exceptions, India being one, where Visa and MasterCard isn't available there. So it varies from country to country. If you're in Nigeria, you got everything available. If you're in Romania, you've got everything available. So you've got some flexibility in those markets. Then, how do you get money out? That's very, very straightforward and very simple, and you can do it at any point. It's your money. You can do with it what you wish. You don't have to ask anybody. You just do it. This is an example of using USDT TRC20. That's a very popular and common stable coin. So this is Robert Russell's accounts. He wanted to show the different withdrawal methodologies. So here's a crypto. He's withdrawing $382, $445. Here is a bank wire. You do have a little bit of a requirement, a little bit bigger requirement as far as to use bank wire. It has to, I think, be a minimum of like $536, $550, something like that. So that explains these two examples. But he showed you crypto, he showed you bank wires, and then Visa and MasterCard. I'm a big fan of Wise. Wise works very well with this. You can take your Wise card and withdraw money directly. You can deposit with the Wise card and withdraw with the Wise card. It's cool. Same thing with bank wire and same thing with USDT Tether or USDT. So you've got a variety of methods that you can use to get your money in and maybe more importantly, get your money out. Now, what I'm about to show you, I repeat this phraseology because I'm going to show you compounding. And if you haven't seen compounding before, Albert Einstein described compounding as the eighth wonder of the world, the power of compound interest. And old Albert was right. I mean, it is an amazingly powerful thing. So I say that because when you look at compounding, I just want to make sure, because it generally gets people pretty excited. But keep in mind, don't use the rent money, the mortgage money, or money for groceries. Use money that is discretionary, that you can afford to lose if something completely goes wrong. Trading is risky. So, just remember that that's a very important concept. So with that out of the way, I want to grab a link here to give you. So what I'm about to show you, you'll be able to use when we're done on your own, and be able to play around with this calculating tool, which is a compounding calculator. And that calculator is something that is just an awesomely powerful tool. So let me show you this. And what I'm about to show you is just, ladies and gentlemen, it's just very simple. It's math. Okay, it's just math. In other words, if you look at, let me get that out of the way. Okay, it's not cooperating today. There we go. Okay. Nope. Well, the pitfalls of a little screen. I'll have to just tolerate that. I'll put it down here. There we go. So, how do you work a compound calculator? Well, the first thing is you'll see in the information I sent you, what is your initial capital? What is the rate you want to use on a daily basis? And notice daily, not weekly, not monthly, not annual, but daily compounding. Wow, really? The more frequent you can make compounding, the more powerful it is and the more impact it has quickly. And then how long do you want to have your money doing that? Years, months, whatever that may be. These are the parameters that you need in order to use this calculator. And what I want to have you consider is if you're creating an account initially, you should test the account. Maybe you put in $100, $200, whatever's comfortable, maybe $1,000, depending on your resources, just to test the water. And I see some people test with $5,000. I would not do that personally, but each to his own or her own. This gives you a means of being able to look at how does this thing perform. But let's say that you're through the testing period, you've done your test, you can say, okay, I'm ready to really, put some money in that will create significant returns, enough so that I might contemplate leaving my job at some point, or I could go on vacation for long periods of time. Some nice outcomes. So whatever that number is for you, you can put that number in and see that. What I'm going to use today, just to show you examples, is I'm going to start with $1,000. Okay. And $1,000, and I'm going to use for an interest rate, I'm going to use 0.8. You saw one of the traders I showed you got 0.89 over a period of time. One got or almost 2%. I'll show you that as well, just for grins. But I want to start out with this, because this is something that lots of traders are achieving, this kind of a number. And mind you, this is the net number after the 30% or whatever they charge as a fee, because you have to take their fee out in order to accurately compute the rate of return. Let's say that that's for a year. Now, here's a question that you will encounter, and it's important that you answer this correctly. Include all days of the week. What do you think? The correct answer would be no, because Forex only trades 5 days a week, unless you're trading crypto, which is an additional 2 days. But let's use no. Let's use Forex trading, and let's say that you reinvest all of the profits back in. So this is really the thing between the rate and this idea of 100% reinvestment. You really are maximizing compounding. So, what do you think this $1,000 is going to turn into? Go ahead and type your answer in chat if you would. In other words, we run it for a year. What is that $1,000 going to turn into over a year? What do you think? Put your answer in chat if you would, please. What's the 1,000 going to be 12 months from now? And Anthony is a Nigerian in the UK. Okay, terrific. Drum roll, please. What's the $1,000 going to turn into in a year? Type your answer in chat, if you would, please. What is that number? 15,000. Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Anybody else? 2,500, says Top Guru. Okay. So we've got a pretty big range there, guys. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Okay, I'll enough with the drama. Here we go. Calculate. Boom. It's $7,938.50. Assuming we get a 0.8% return, that is a 693% growth on your account. Try to get that from your bank. I kid. Why is my pointer not behaving here? Give me just a second, guys. I want to see if I can fix this. Be nice to me, please. Okay, that looks right. Why is it not working when I want to use it? Function key is supposed to trigger that. Okay. All right. Function key is not triggering that. Okay, I'll worry about that later. Try getting that from your bank, though. I mean, I joke, obviously. This is why people want to explore this medium, because most of the time, if you're putting money into a savings account, you're actually going backwards when you consider the amount they're paying you, and then you equate that against inflation and the inflation rate in your country. I just heard recently that the UK has a double-digit inflation rate. I think it's come down a bit. I thought ours was bad in the US. Man. Now imagine the bank is paying you less than 1%. You're going backwards on that money. You got to find things that generate decent returns. And this is a very good return, obviously. So yeah, you have to take more risk to get this, but if you can mitigate that risk a lot, you can really, really make a lot of money. Now, let's look at another concept here. Let's say let's say you're fortunate enough to get a 1% return per day. Keeping in mind, 0.8 got you $7,900. Okay. Let's see what 1% does. Boom. 1%, you just added $5,000 plus to your return. You almost doubled your return percentage. In fact, I think you did. 0.2%. Let that sink in. 0.2% made this difference. Because what you're going to see is you're going to see here month by month by month what your $1,000 did. Keep in mind, you started with $1,000. By the end of June, you have 1,220. So you start July with 1,220. You earn 283 in July. Now you've got 1,503. You got 386 in August. Now you've got 1,890. You got 439 in September. Now you got 2,329, and so on and so forth. In other words, by the end of the year, if you left the money in, and again, this assumes that you're getting 1% like clockwork. That's the tough part, because you've got to find consistency in the trader. But if you were fortunate enough to have a trader that would do that and could do that consistently, you would get this amount of money. Your account would be worth this amount of money. You have earned $12,290 in earnings on your $1,000. Therefore, your account size is that. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, imagine over time that took place. Now, let's say, for the sake of discussion, that you want to see, because I want to show you something here. Remember, you put in $1,000. And that $1,000, somewhere between here at 1,890 and here at 2,329, somewhere in the middle here, probably 2 weeks in to September, or no, 2 weeks in, somewhere in between August and September. I'll just leave that more broad. When you have $2,000 here, here's an idea that you may want to contemplate. What happens if you pull your $1,000 out and you leave $1,000 that's profit trading? What do we call that? Removal of risk. You have just mitigated your risk entirely. That's pretty cool, right? If you could get that accomplished, and there's a couple of ways to do that. You could let it compound and it'll grow more rapidly, or you could say, well, I want to take every dollar out that's profit until I get my money back. Let's say you look at that, and the way on this calculator to do that is to choose reinvestment of 5%. That's the minimum that you can have. So you're taking out 95%. Let's look at that number. So here is your starting balance. Month one, you had $200.95 in earnings. You reinvested $10. You put $190 in your wallet. Okay, you had $213 month two. You took out $10.66. You put $202 in your wallet. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, approximately right here, 5 months in at the end of October, you've gotten your $1,000 out. So here, if you do it this way, it'll take a little bit longer, but you have the immediate access of the return of your initial investment, the return of your capital, the return of your seed money, whatever you call it. And this is the way of absolutely getting the money back that you put in as quickly as possible. There's two methods, as I said. One is to let it reinvest and compound more quickly. This method, you're not doing that, but your account growth also suffers a bit as a result of that, but it is getting you your money back more quickly. Okay. In other words, directly into your wallet. If you're not willing to let it compound and run, you want to get that $200, that $200, that $200 as the profits come in. Now that you're here in October with $1,000, you could let it run and reinvest, and you're playing on the house's money, so to speak. You're playing with your profits. And that's something that a lot of people, when they look at this and they realize that they can completely and totally mitigate their risk by using one of these strategies. And you can do things like, let's say over time you say, okay, I really like this thing. I'm going to put in, $8,000 and I have gotten my return back. Let's say 1% rate. And let's say 50-50. 50% goes in and 50% goes to your wallet, 50% reinvest and 50% you take out in withdrawals. This is what that looks like. You earn $29,000. Your investment value is now $29,000. $9,000, your total earnings were $42,000. You had a 531% return, and it will show you down here. In other words, 50-50. Here's the column that says you took your $8,000, and over a year, 21,000 of it got reinvested. So you have a $29,000 account now, and you've taken 21,000 and put it in your pocket. Not bad, right? I mean, what if that actually worked? Wow. Now, here's a crazy notion. Remember, we just went for a year. Watch what happens if we change this to 2 years. Okay, let's do that. Whoops, what did I do wrong? Oh, okay. Somehow I didn't get that right. There we go. Now you've earned 199,000 over 2 years. Your investment value is 100K. And let's look at the way that looks. You've taken out 100K, you've reinvested 100K. So, this starts to look pretty powerful, right? What happens now if you say, okay, from that point on, I want to just take out 20%? Because I don't need this much money coming out into my hands. I want to just have it reinvest. What if we did that? Let's say at the end of June of 25, you take your 100K out, or you just leave it in. I could do that this way. I could just go 1 year, 107. This is at the end of, let's do that. I think it was June of 25. Yeah. Boom. All right. Let's say at that point you want to take a look at reinvesting 80% and reinvesting 80% and taking 20% out of 100,000 in principal. Your rate remains the same, and you're just going to look at it running it for a year. What would it look like? You would have $936,000 in earnings, and you would see 187,000 in your wallet and a 740,000 contribution to your account. Your account is 856,000 when this is done. If you wanted to see what that looked like over a 2-year period, stay seated, because this gets insane. It gets crazy. Here you are over a 2-year period. Okay. And look at these earnings numbers. You have a total in earnings of $8.4 million. Your investment value is now worth 6.8, and you've taken $1.6 million out in cash. This is where you start to really see the muscle of compounding, because we didn't really change anything other than time and defining what is the percentage that I want to take out. Here's your reinvestment column. Here's your cash out column. You see 6.7 was left in, 1.6 million is in your wallet. You can play around with this, and you can come up with strategies that make sense for you, that are to your liking, depending on your risk tolerance. But what I hope I have done is open your eyes to the power of compounding, because this tool that you're in front of has the ability to deploy and execute this type of a plan. Am I assuring you that you're going to get 1%? No, I'm not, because it depends on the trader you choose. It depends on a lot of variables that you control. But if you are fortunate enough to get 1% a day on your trading, and there are traders that are achieving this, now, are they achieving it consistently? That's always the challenge in this arena. But if you're fortunate enough to find that golden goose, this is just math. What I'm showing you, if they can generate 1% a day, what you see on the screen could be manifested. There is if in that sentence. Don't miss that if. But if that is done, the math is the math. So I hope that sheds some light on the power of compounding, and that people get excited. Obviously, I did when I first saw this. My jaw dropped. So what I've just shown you is I've shown you copy trading, the solidity of the broker, how you do withdrawals and compounding. What I want to just draw your attention to is we have a class on Monday that my colleague Robert Russell teaches. It's at 8 p.m. UK time. This is intended for people that are already enrolled and want to get everything set up properly, this is not really intended for guests or prospects. This is intended for clients and affiliates. Then on Tuesday, we have one at 9 a.m. UK time. Yours truly does this one, and this coming Tuesday is we'll be doing that. And then on Wednesday, we have one at 8 p.m. UK time, which is Robert Russell. And then on Saturday each week, we do this event, and we have an enrollment and Q&A that follows this one. So let me get into, by the way, if you like what you saw thus far and you're interested in exploring this, be sure to reach out to the person that referred you here and get their enrollment link, their affiliate link to you so that you could enroll. You also will find all of the instructions to do that right here at timefreedomteam.xyz. In fact, I'll type that in chat so you have that. And that's a systematic way to both expose prospects. If you have prospects that you'd like to show this to, we have a video on there. And your guest that you send there cannot sign up with anybody but you. They're directed to do that on the third step in the process, which is get back to the person that referred you here. So I'll send that there for just a minute. Give me a second. I need to clear my sinus here. Okay, we will continue here. And what I want to show you now is the affiliate plan. The affiliate plan, by the way, is completely optional. You don't have to do this. I show it to you because we have people that don't have a lot of capital and they say, how can I earn enough money to play? This is how. If they have drive and they have get up and go, they have motivation, they're the worker bee, they have hustle. If any of those words ring true with you and you say, yeah, I can talk to people. If you mean you'll do the presentation, Robert, or the other Robert will do the presentation, all I have to do is get guests here. Yes. Now, if you're somebody that's capable of doing the presentation and like doing this type of thing, we want to talk to you because there's nothing more powerful than to have more of them to plug people into, depending on the time zone that you're in. But this is a very powerful thing. It's simple. It works. You can withdraw your money. You can add the money that you earn from the affiliate part into compounding, which just accelerates what you just saw. There are no payout limits. It's daily pay. No deal restrictions, no bonus restrictions, 24/7 support, which is quite good, and also very good analytics. And there really are 4 ways to earn. One is the trader that you hire for your own trading account, copy trading. The second one is the affiliate returns. When you refer one of your clients to a trader, that trader charges the client 30%. Oftentimes, not all traders, because they vary, but many traders will split that with you 50-50. So they collect 30% from your client for the trading that week, and then they say, here you go, here's your 15%. So with traders that have that strategy, you're making 15% of the profit that is generated for your client, which is really, really cool. It's powerful. Then there's 35% that's paid out on the broker fees. That's point number 3 here. The broker charges a fee for the spread and also for different commissions that they charge. You get a percentage up to 35% of that. And then monthly, you're paid a 20%, up to 20% bonus on the commission that you earn from point 3. There's really a fifth part of this plan. If you are a skilled enough trader that you could be a copy trader, you can do the copy trading as well and add further income if you have the aspiration to do that. Absolutely optional, not, don't have to do that. But if you know people that are skilled traders. I just had a guy that approached me, coincidentally, a Romanian guy that I haven't talked to in a while. And he said, man, I'm making, 100% to 300% a year. I said, can you do it consistently? He said, yes. I said, you're not making as much money as you could be. If you come over here to and provide copy trading with those kinds of numbers, I think you'll have a very good following in no time. And that got his attention. Now, here's an example. Let's say that after you've done your test, you put in $5,000. Okay. And let's say that $5,000 earned 23% in a month. Okay. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to do that. This is just purely for example purposes only. But let's say that you were fortunate and you earned 23%. You had an $1,150 gross profit. You take that gross profit of $1,150 and you take 30% of it, meaning you multiply it times 0.7. Here's your net, $805 net. So you go into month number 2 with $5,805. There's compounding working, assuming you left that 805 in. Now you go out to your buddies and you say, hey, I found this way and it's working really well. And they tend to do what you do. So let's say that you find 5 people, they put in $25,000. They multiply out to, let's say that month it was the same return, 23%. So that's $5,750. The $5,750, the trader takes 30% of that, and that's $1,725. And they split that. In this case, many traders do this, not all, but many. So you would get a $862 half, in other words, 15% of the overall profit, just from the 5 clients that you referred, not counting some of the other things like this. This, I was actually kind of dismissive of this when this came out. I was like, yeah, it's peanuts. It's not really that much money. I was wrong. Robert Russell, who's not on the call today, but I have seen his numbers personally. He had a recent day where he earned $1,000 just from this part of the compensation, just on the broker fees. And it's real. I had my all-time high about 5-6 weeks ago was $326 from this part of the plan. Once a month, the company says if you've earned between 100 and 500, we'll pay you an extra 10% bonus. That'd be $50 max on this one. If you've earned from this part of the plan right here, somewhere between $500 and $30,000, we'll pay you 15%. That maxes out at $4,500 monthly bonus. If you're over $30,000 in profit, we'll pay you an extra 20% once a month. That would be $6,000 and up. So, the money just gets better and better and better as your organization and your team grows and the assets under management on your team grow. So those are examples of things that are really powerful. The affiliate plan, as I said, as I prefaced this with, it's simple, it works, and you can add it to your trading or you can withdraw it. It's your money. You can do what you want. If you need to pay, have this help pay for a car repair or pay some of the rent or the mortgage or whatever, groceries, you can do that. And yes, you can add it to your compounding. So what I want to do now, that's the end of the official part of the presentation. This is some great fun. To enter into our drawing, I just want to read you the rules. Guests can enter the drawing. Unfunded clients, meaning you have come here before, but you haven't funded your account yet, you can enter in the drawing. You must agree to allow us to publish your name and your picture. And what we're doing these days, I'll show you an example of this. This is what we're asking you to do. In other words, here was Don Murray, who was last week's winner, fellow from Ireland. And he came and he is now the proud recipient of the last drawing, $100. Here's he and his wife. I don't know, they're on vacation someplace. This woman, not sure her name, but we're asking you to allow us to publish your picture and your name to participate. So as long as you agree to that, you can participate in the drawing if you are a guest or if you are a person who has not funded, you've enrolled, but you haven't funded your account yet. You can participate. So, and my keyboard keystrokes today for some reason are just not behaving. I don't know what the devil is going on with that. Anyway, now you have to then register. So you need to get together with the person that referred you. If you're a guest, get their link. You need to register and you need to be verified. Once you're verified, then Robert Russell will get you the $100 either with crypto or depending on where you are, it may be a bank transfer, but we will get that $100 to you. So with that, let's get into the fun here. If you're a guest or you're somebody that has not funded their account yet, type guest or unfunded in chat, if you would, please. Let me get this out of the way. Type guest or unfunded in chat. Okay. Yolanda is a guest. Okay. Okay. So let me start getting these names here. Hang on a minute, because I've got to get the Wheel of Fortune tool here. So let me get this set up like this. Geez, this is maddening. I'm not having my computer behave. There we go. It finally behaved. All right. Okay. Let's see here. First one, Top Guru, what is your name again? Tell me your name, if you would, please. Yolanda is a guest. Okay. Okay. Jude. Okay. Jude. Thank you. Let's see here. Anthony, you guys have got a pretty good crack at winning today. These odds are pretty good. I wish I could go to Las Vegas and get these odds. Okay, we've got Top Guru is Jude. Yolanda. Let me get that. Yolanda. And Anthony. Do we have anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, I think we're good to go. You've got a 33% chance of winning today. That's pretty phenomenal. Guys, I want to encourage you, if you're in the affiliate role here, there's no easier way than to say, how would you like to win $100 and have a 33%, now I'm not guaranteeing you're going to have 33% every time. Our high water mark, I think, was 9 guests. That's still 1 in 10. Shoot, pretty good odds. And we're doing this to encourage people to bring guests, because what we find is whether you win or you don't, you get, a good exposure to what we're up to, and you have a pretty good shot of winning. And, that'll change. And over time, we'll probably make the prize money bigger as our organization grows. But this is something that Robert Russell is doing. And I'm so grateful for him being generous like that. He's doing very well, and he wants to seed the growth of the business. So it's pretty cool deal. Let me see. It finally is working. I don't know what I did on my keyboard to make it behave, but I did, thankfully. Okay. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Is it Anthony? Is it Jude? Is it Yolanda? Let's spin the wheel. Oh, the Romanian wins. Yolanda in Timișoara. Come on down. Yeah, I get into the cheesy game show stuff. I'm an American. Cut me some slack. Congratulations, Yolanda. What we'll need to do is, if you can, are you on Telegram? Yes. Okay. What I want you to do, I'm going to type in my Telegram username, which is this one, in chat here. That's okay. I have very good translators. Sunt vorbesc în românește, și sunt măgar în românește. What I just said is I speak Romanian, and I'm a donkey in Romanian. My wife and my daughter are native speakers. I'm preschool. I can find the restaurant, I can find the toilet, and that's about it. And do you have good beer? Those 3 I know. Okay, send me a message on there if you would, Isabella, on Telegram. Let me just verify while we're here that you have done that, because I don't want to hop off the call and not have received that message from you and your mom. The other person that you'll need to get in touch with Let me find his username. Is Robert Russell, my Irish colleague. And if you think Romanian is difficult to understand, you ought to hear this guy's accent in English. Just a wee bit. I have fun with him. He's a really good man. I like this guy a lot. And commonly, I'll have to say, could you repeat that, please? As Churchill famously said, two people separated by a common language. There's that. This is Robert Russell's username. Oh, good. He's your upline. Excellent. Excellent. So that don't bother with me then. Get in touch with Robert directly. That's what you need to do. He's not here today, obviously, so if if your mom does need help with the Romanian, don't hesitate to get me in the loop, because I can get my wife or my daughter on the horn, and my daughter in particular is very good command of English. She was in the U.S. from 8th grade until all the way through college, and she spoke English pretty well when we met when she was 13, and she speaks Romanian, of course, fluently. Have you met my wife and daughter, Isabella? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you will. We'll make a point of that. You go ahead and send me a message, and we can have some fun with that. I'm enjoying the time here in Romania a lot. We really like the Romanian people and love the food, and just having a grand old time here. So, okay. Are there any questions, guys? Because this is the part where I'm going to bring this in for